How's it going, people? Lamistard here, and this is Runescape lore. And in this little part we're going to be carrying on with the Majharrat. We've done quite a lot of them now, but there are still a few left, including some of the main ones such as freneskae. So today we're going to be taking a look at a Majharrat that goes by the name of Lamistard, or Lamistard, depending on how you want to say it. Now, you may not have ever even heard about Lamistard, or you may have simply forgotten where you might have heard the name from. Well, there's probably a good reason for that, since Lamistard was the Majharrat who was actually sacrificed in the middle of the 4th Age. And, well, the only time we really get to hear about Lamistard is during the Curse of Arav, when you're picking up the stone tablets on the floor as you're going through Lamistard's tunnels, which you may not have even known were actually called Lamistard's tunnels. So Lamistard himself was actually a Majharrat who fully supported Zamorak, but evidently, since he actually died and was sacrificed during the mid-4th Age, he must have fallen out with the rest of the Majharrat. After attempting to tunnel under the north to benefit from the ritual of rejuvenation, Lamistard was eventually captured and sacrificed. Although Lamistard makes no appearance within the game himself besides through the tablets, which is during which of the Curse of Arav quest, and this is when you actually go through the tunnels to access the Morgul's fort. Additionally, Lamistard is actually mentioned within the Morgul's notes, as well as within an issue of Postbag from the Hedge. But there is not a massive amount known about Lamistard, to be totally honest. He's really kind of obscure. Lamistard presumably then arrived in Gielinor during the early 2nd Age after being led from the realm of freneskae by Thrarin. His age and history in freneskae itself, much like the rest of the Majharrat, is unknown. After serving Thrarin though for some time, the Majharrat race did indeed shift allegiance over to Zaros, and partially thanks to their support, Zaros managed to conquer most of what is now known of Gielinor itself. Lamistard and his brothers and sisters served Zaros during this time for quite a while, although the details regarding his specific service and what he did during this time seem to have been lost. In the year 2000 of the 2nd Age, the Majharrat Zamorak did indeed betray Zaros. This was with the use of the Staff of Armadil to banish him to a parallel plane of existence. After returning from a brief banishment, Zamorak did manage to regather the support of many of his followers. And indeed, pressured by his strength, Lamistard and most of the Majharrat joined Zamorak in his efforts to conquer the territories which were now unprotected by Zaros. Lamistard served Zamorak during the God Wars, although he was evidently never favoured by Zamorak or the majority of the Majharrat. During the rituals of rejuvenation near the remains of Gorok though, Lamistard gradually became unable to gain any type of upper hand in the ritual politics, leading to his constant forced positioning far from the ritual site by more powerful Majharrat. Evidently, Morgul considered using him as the 15th ritual sacrifice, but Lamistard did not actually attend, fearing this very thing. Mizark, under the Majharrat, was instead sacrificed, but Lamistard's absence meant he was now even weaker than ever before. Left weak and with very few allies, Lamistard generally fell into a relative obscurity, much like what Karshai did. In the mid-4th Age, around the year 1169, Lamistard attempted to circumvent his physical inability to combat more powerful Majharrat. After travelling to the Trollwise mountain range, east of the Freneskae province, Lamistard began creating a tunnel network which he hoped could be dug directly below the ritual site. In this way, he theorised that he could be completely recharged from the ritual, thus making him a force to be reckoned with in future rituals. Lamistard's tunnelling was extremely imperfect, however. He took numerous wrong turns, and supplies were a constant issue. Miscalculating his progress, Lamistard tunneled directly into the basement of Morgul's manor, far to the southwest of the ritual site. Though Rather than turning back, Lamistard entered the basement in an effort to get his bearings, and was instantly captured by Zamorgul. At the 16th ritual, it was then decided almost unanimously that Lamistard will be the sacrifice. After being forcefully brought to the ritual site, Lamistard was slain, his life force granting those Majharrat present another 500 years worth of power. During the Curse of Arav quest, players rediscover Lamistard's tunnels and use them to access Zamorgul's manor. During the process, they also discover excerpts from his journal, as well as remains from his work in the tunnel. Now, these excerpts from his journal are actually the stone tablet, the granite tablet, and the shale tablet you get, and you can actually read them. So, let's quickly go through these then. The Journal of Lamistard. It is imperative I get as close to the ritual stone as I can this time. For too many rituals, now the same few have gained much power, while the rest of us have stayed on the outskirts and remained weaker. If only I could get closer, maybe I'd become a force in the next battle. I have a cunning plan. I've started to dig some tunnels that will eventually lead directly under the stone. This time, I will be as close as possible. I have found the ideal site to start digging, an isolated mountainside reachable only via troll tunnels. No one will disturb me here. I have been struggling to get precisely under the stone. I've wasted time digging these tunnels, and obviously the wrong way. I seem to have hit some sort of brick structure, possibly a cellar belonging to one of the others. Maybe if I break through it, I can get my bearings. It will be dangerous though. I don't want to be detected. And as you know, at that point, it was Zamorgul that captured Lamistard. And, indeed, that was the end of Lamistard's life. So all in all, not a lot is genuinely known about Lamistard himself. In fact, we don't even know what he looked like. But we do know he did come along with his brothers and sisters. He did indeed participate in the wars of the Second Age, first at the Thrarin side, and then switching to Zaras's, and finally switching over to Zamorak's. But we have no idea what Lamistard himself actually did during this time. We do know he was on this side and obviously must have partaken in the war. But was he part of a large force or a large undertaking? Was he part of a major campaign? Honestly, maybe we'll never know. But with that said, that's everything you need to know about Lamistard. So, until next time people, I will catch you all later. Have a good one.